I heard you want more Ultra League content, and today we're gonna take a look at my favorite Pokemon from the Great League in the Ultra League. Toucannon. Shadow Toucannon is absolutely fantastic in the Open Great League, but I haven't built it yet for the Open Ultra League, so when I ever get back, we're gonna start into the battle, and this is gonna be here. We're going to have the Dusknoir against us at the beginning, and in the back here is going to be, for our team at least, the Virizion as well as the Primeape. We have a very much attack-weighted team because I want to try out on how to win in this competition right now with a team that isn't relying on bulk, because everyone is relying on bulk. We have here one of the bulkiest Pokemon against us in the Licky. They're going to be able to go for another charge move. And by the way, we are in really nice and high elo range. We're over 3050, I think, elo. My Legend team video is coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one as well. If you watched the stream though recently, then you saw all the gameplay live as well. Again, I'm actually streaming on Monday, on Thursdays, as well as on Saturdays usually. Just not this Saturday. This Saturday I can't. But yeah, if you want to follow as well the streams, always make sure to stay tuned for those. They're always kind of around the same time for me. It's around like 7 to 8 p.m. Whatever time it is for you. Anyway, let's take a look here at the next game. We're going to start off taking a look at a very tough opponent. Let's see if we're going to be able to win against them or not. We're going to have a horrible lead and we're going to have a horrible face-up. We have basically a complete hard counter going on against us right now. But this doesn't mean that we're not going to give up immediately, because we have our Primeape. And Primeape is super fast. And that means that we are going to be able to utilize a shield here in order to maybe get the shield from the opponent again. But I have like small hopes that I might be even able, with the small energy advantage that I got from the beginning, to actually realign myself here. Could be the case. At the end of the day, we are pacing quite a bit faster than the opponent, right? But things changed a bit this season. Media Mesh is now a cheaper move, and with that, it's only a one fast move difference every time we go for a charge move. And since we had to go for 2 charge moves in the beginning already before they even start shielding, we're not going to be able to align ourselves, but also they're still going to get to another move here. And that's unfortunate, because now Toucannon is going to be taking quite a bit of damage. I'm going to go up to another Drill Peck though, so I can stop out now and have the energy for later on. We're just getting hard walled. There was nothing I could have done here. Literally nothing. There was absolutely not a shot that I would be able to win this battle there. But let's take a look at the next opponent. And they don't know that I don't have Ice Punch here, so they're forced to shield here just to scout if I have the move. And now we're boosted, and now I don't really care anymore what the opponent wants to do with their Dragonite. And so the Thunder Punch is coming in. I'm going to be able to reach out for another Rage Fist. This is going to force either shield or does some massive damage, and we're going to get the shield, which I think is actually better for me in this case, because now I can go to my Toucannon and just go for a Drill Peck and knock them out. That's at least what I thought, but the opponent had different plans. Let's take a look at this. Thunder Punch coming in, and they catch the move back onto their Empoleon, and I was like, oh no, that is bad. Because what we have here is now our Virizion, which is best up to shield this move, because it's going to be a double super effective Drill Peck, which I don't want to really get hit by, I have to admit. Like, it's not really my favorite thing. And so we are going to be going for the Sacred Sword, and this core of Dragon and Empoleon seems to be still working quite well. Now I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued on if I should try to play the exact same team as the opponent, because I like the team. I like what they're trying to achieve here. The issue is that I don't have really the best answers for what we're currently facing. And so I'm going to go into my Toucannon here. I try to catch maybe something to Shadow Sneak there. It's going to be the Ancient Power. Nearly the same, and we're going to lose this battle. Close one. But trust me, this is going to get better. We just had really 2 tough matchups here, but now it's going to start up quite a bit easier for ourselves. We have the Torterra, and in comes actually the Fortress. And what you maybe don't see here yet, but I actually knew that as well, is I have the best answer to Fortress, which is actually Virizion, which is kind of funny, because Virizion, well, yeah, the typing itself doesn't really seem to be that great against them. It's actually going to be a great defensive type against them, because all of the hits are Volt Switch, Rock Tomb, as well as Earthquake or Sand Tomb are all going to be resisted on our Virizion, which means the opponent has no firepower at all. And now we have a shield advantage. We have still the Torterra, which, by the way, Virizion is great against as well. And we still have our Toucannon. And in today's video, we also kind of want to take a look at if Toucannon is worth building. And I can give you my honest opinion already at this point as well. Absolutely. I enjoy this Pokemon quite a bit. I do think it's better suited for the Great League. If you have to choose, like if you only have one good Shadow version of it or whatever, then rather go for the Great League than for the Ultra League. But I feel like the Toucannon has a lot of play currently in both leagues. The main reason why Toucannon can struggle in the current Ultra League meta is because there are quite a lot of Electric type Pokemon as we face up against the Belly Board. And you might wonder, why did you swap out of here? because I didn't expect a Belly Bolt in the back with the lead that we had. Honestly, I didn't. But also, I knew that I could just debuff whatever comes in and then just utilize my other Pokemon, as I know that also my Virizion is still fine there. The thing is here, I kind of need to use my Virizion now in order to deal damage against the opponent's Belly Bolt, which I didn't really plan to be doing, but it's okay. Now, I still have a shield advantage. I still going to have my Primeape, and they actually use a shield here, which is kind of funny because it just makes them worse for themselves. I can just go for close combat. I very likely can even knock out the Torterra from this range with one close combat, but I decided to play it safe. I decided to play it safe here because I didn't really see the point of not doing that. I know how much energy Torterra has, and I know that I can just go for one rage twist, one close combat, and guarantee win me the battle. So, like, there was no real point of trying to risk one close combat and then getting hit by, like, I don't know even what I would have got hit by. But yeah, I will win this battle no matter what. A good game to the opponent, so we're 2 for 2 now. And the next battle starts actually quite off alright as well. We're going to have here the Clefable, and we're going to try to go for the Drill Peck. But what I see here right now is that the opponent swapped out into their Stunfisk, which seems to be bad. But honestly, it's actually bad for them. Because what we have here is, we have still the energy on our Toucannon, like nothing really changed in that kind of regard. But what we have here now as well is that we're going to have now a very good matchup for our Virizion. And I will try to utilize the matchup as well now to get energy. I of course would have rather not thrown the Drill Peck onto an Electric-type Pokemon, but this is the thing as well, this is why Toucannon is going to be a bit of a tough one in the current meta, but I don't see that the Electric-type meta is going to stay like this for too long for the Open Ultra League, which would most likely make the Toucannon again a bit stronger, because it is quite strong against other top meta Pokemon for this league. And so I would assume that this is going to be changing eventually. I can't see that like everybody's running currently Ampharos and Belly Bolt for whatever reason. I feel like this is going to be something that's going to change in the future. But here you actually see me use 2 of my shields. I know that I'm not going to be able to outspeed the opponent, but I swap out into their next Electric-type Pokemon. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is absolute madness. But we can go for the Beak Blast, and we still do so much damage. It doesn't look like it's resisted at all. We're going to be able to take the hits here now as well with our Primeape, as they're going to go for the Trailblaze. I go for the Charge Move on the CMP tie. So if they shield, I'm gonna knock them out because I have 1 HP. If they don't shield, I'm gonna knock them out as well because they don't shield. But let's take a look here. We have the attack boost onto our Primeape. In comes the opponent's Stunfisk again. They're gonna knock me out here. But they still have the Clefable, so that's gonna be tough. I can still go for Leaf Blade, but I'm not too sure if I'm gonna be able to win this battle now, as we have to try to reach another charge move here with... I don't know how I got this move off. I think the opponent lagged there. I don't think the Toucannon should have got to the charge move here, but we're glad to take it because now this game is over and we win straight away. Okay, that is basically the worst possible Pokemon to encounter in the lead. What would happen if I tell you that the opponent is gonna forfeit very soon? The reason is because I played it absolutely perfectly. I call the bait here. I got the drop onto the opponent. I got the damage onto the opponent's Corviknight. Corviknight breaks the entire team. But not if you play it as beautifully as I did. I catch the payback here, which is A, resisted hit, and B, now a debuffed hit from the opponent onto my Primeape, doing absolutely nothing. And Primeape is actually quite alright for ourselves here against the opponent's Corviknight because I can get the boost onto the opponent, and now the opponent is going to be very, very low in terms of their HP already, to the point where I can farm them down here already without them getting to another air cutter. And in comes the opponent's Gastrodon, which allows me now to go for close combat. And yeah, Gastrodon plus Flyer is a great core, but if you play a Corviknight, so not so great, I guess. We can kind of counter you here as well with the Gastrodon, and after having the worst possible lead, the opponent forfeits after just 1 minute. Funny, isn't it? Like, this is kind of where it showcases on how important it is to play out certain matches in certain ways. We're going to have here the Raikou against us as well. We're going to be able to take the hit from the opponent. That's kind of interesting. Shadow Raikou going to go for the Aura Sphere. I can go ahead and go for the Leaf Blade against the opponent. That is going to do some solid damage here. It is not going to be enough to knock them out, but the opponent's still going to reach another charge move here, which we have to shield up. We can go for the full farm down, but I would have rather not had to use a shield against the Raikou. Well, because you're going to have, you know, the Virizion coming in from the opponent. I have my better matchup with my lead, of course, but I can't really swap out because I kind of want to keep the alignment for it. Now, it just depends on what they have in the back. Maybe I should have swapped out, because I don't have a bad matchup with the rest of my team either against the Virizion, as we're going to be able to get the opponent super low here with our own Virizion. I could try to snipe them here, but they're going to go for the charge move anyway, so like I'm fine with that. I can try to farm them down here now with my Toucannon. I should let the move go because we only have 1 shield left. We don't know what they have in the back. Sacred Sword comes in, and in the back it's going to be Zapdos. there is absolutely nothing I can do here. And this is like the issue currently. I feel like what we could try to do is we could try to make a team that just completely destroys electric type Pokemon, because they really are taking over right now. There's not a lot that I can do about it. Like here, we're going to have the Zapdos from the opponent being able to go for 2 Drill Packs. Like Drill Pack is kind of having very similar pacing than I have with my move. The only thing that I could have done here better, in hindsight, what I would have done better, like if I could just turn back time, is I will swap up into the Primeape earlier and went for the Rage Twist spam and then try to go for a Drill Pack later on against them instead of going for the Drill Pack first. The main reason for this is because I just gave them too much energy there. Anyway, Gyarados against us. Okay, we go for the Drill Pack. This is allowing us, of course, to get the shield. I would like to maybe try to snipe the next charge move here onto my Primeape. I can do that. I can catch the move, which is perfect. And I do outspeed them here. I do get to my Rage Twist before they can go for anything. So let's see on how things gonna go. Rage Twist coming in. This is going to allow us to do some solid damage against the opponent, but they are still surviving, and they're going to knock us out if we don't use a shield. And so I am going to be forced to use a shield as well. The Arcotail comes through, and now it's a shield disadvantage for ourselves. They're going to reveal that they have Torterra in the back, which I would one-shot with this charge move, if they let the move go, which they do. And now it's Toucannon time. I swap out into Toucannon straight away. For which reason? Because no matter what is in the bag, I like to debuff them. And I can debuff them guaranteed here with a Beak Blast. And I know at this point anyway, I have the hardest answer to Cresselia in the bag in our Virizion. And so that game is over. And we can move on to the next one. Let's see who we have. We have the Greninja in the lead, and I think I play this matchup quite a bit bad, but we're gonna talk about it. Yep, I swap out into my Primeape, everything fine, in comes the Venusaur. My goal here is to try to align myself, and I make one big mistake. We're going to be able to, go for the Rage Twist. It's all fine. Like, everything is fine here. I pressure the opponent. It's very similar to what the Clefable matchup was earlier. Like, they resist our damage, but, like, it takes neutral damage from our fast moves. They have actually kind of the same pacing if they would want to go for the Sludge, but they just go for the Frenzy Plant the entire time, which is fine by me. But now it depends on what they want to do with their Venusaur, and I will just try to go up into the 2-shield scenario here. I'm going to go for my own shield. Because for me, against Greninja, I just need alignment, and here I was too slow. If I would have been able to swap out one fast move earlier, which I should have been able to, I just didn't expect the opponent to make this play at all, like it doesn't make too much sense to me. I would have been able to keep my Primeape alive with a ton of energy. And that is kind of sad because it would have changed quite a bit here. This would have helped me out absolutely in the back, like there would have been a game changer. Like I had basically close combat out there already. I think I was one away from a close combat. Like this, of course, would change games immediately. And now it depends on what they have in the back. They have this Gyarados here. If I would have kept my Primeape, I would have had enough for Rage Fist, and I would have had a way better time here. So my fault was just that I didn't swap out in time. And that is changing the entire battle. Like, this is literally it. I was down to 1 second decision. Like, to swap out a little bit faster. One fast move earlier. And now I have here the Virizion, which has no firepower against a fire type. And that is my own loss. I would have easily won this. I would say I would have easily won this if it wasn't for me not being fast enough. And that is fine. Good game to the opponent. Well done. Well played. And here's one big weakness of this team. Ninetales. Alola Ninetales, it just doesn't, like this team just has no play against it. But here's what you do against teams where you have no play against. You still try to find somehow a win con. And it's a bit risky. Here I have to let the move go. There's no way, because it's the only Pokemon here on the team that doesn't take super effective damage from Weather Ball Ice, which they're going to spam normally anyway all the time. So like that was the only way of me getting something out of here. Now I have a shield advantage at least. And in comes the Jellicent. And again, I didn't really know on how to deal with this Pokemon. They're going to be forced to go for a charge move here anyway, so I can let the move go. That's fine by me. I really don't care too much. Because I can now go into my Toucannon and try to get some energy. But the issue is they have a ton of energy themselves. And I just need to see that maybe... I need to kind of catch a move here nearly. Like, I don't... Okay, they go into the Ninetales. They make it a bit more difficult actually for us with that. As we are going to be forced now to swap out, because otherwise the farm is down, of course. We go straight to the Virizion. I have to go for Leaf Blade. I have to shield up the move from the opponent. They're very likely going to outspeed us before I get to another charge move, which they do not actually. So is Leaf Blade enough to knock them out? Is my question. The answer is absolutely no. It's not enough. They're going to get to another charge move here. It is going to be the opponent's Weather Ball Ice, and we will see as well that we're going to be able to go for the full farm down. But the issue is that here is going to be the Belly Bolt in the back, and yeah, we just didn't have the power for that one. So, Toucannon itself, I think, is an amazing Pokemon, like just generally at the end here. You should definitely build one if you can. The issue is the current meta is really tough for any flying type Pokemon to survive. They were electric type Pokemon basically in every battle that we did today. Still, I was happy with the team. I think the team is alright. Just the current meta is just a bit difficult for it. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like and I will see you then. Bye bye.